morning. It is a new day, and I wish you all a very, very good Tuesday. I think it's going to be a great Tuesday. We want you to laugh. We want you to be present in the moment. We want you to inspire yourself, inspire others, and just start out on a positive note. We're live from the Aired Out Studios from Fly on the Wall Productions on North Main Street in Barrie, Vermont, where the sun's not shining here, but it's because we're in the fog. It's actually going to be a beautiful day. Plenty of sunshine and summer-like, just like yesterday. We're looking at temps right up against 80 degrees today on this Tuesday, September 16th. Tonight, few clouds down around 50, and then tomorrow, partly sunny and around 77 degrees. We're going to chat with Dr. Matt Chalmers here in just a little bit, and we're going to take a little bit of a dive this morning on mental health and the relationship with mental health and social media, and we invite you to be part of the conversation with your comments, your thoughts, your ideas, no matter what they are. Let's say this before we go an inch further. It is, being that it is Tuesday, it is $5 Tuesdays back at the Capitol Theater. Make sure you skip the line, grab your tickets now at fgbtheaters.com. This is the last time I've been to the Cap. $5 Tuesdays all day and night. FGB Theaters on Facebook and Instagram for updates, added showtimes, special events, and more. Birthdays today. I think we got a couple here. Bernie Corliss on the list on this September 16th. Sarah Crane, happy birthday to you. Mandy Mislack, happy birthday, and a big hello to Mike. Jenna Schwartz, McKenna Lee, all celebrating birthdays today. Danielle Bryan, Annette Blair, happy birthday to all of you. Whew, deep breath. Where are we going? What are we doing? We got a lot of stuff going on. Community calendar brought to you by the World newspaper. Grab a fresh copy today. Grab it everywhere tomorrow morning. We're going to be chatting with Deb Phillips from the World, and of course she's going to have the latest on what we can expect inside the pages of the new edition coming out tomorrow. Also going to be, of course, tomorrow being Wednesday, Hump Day. We've got Sweethearts and Heroes on the air with us first thing tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, right out of the gate with Sweethearts and Heroes. And, yes, Deb Phillips. All right. Community calendar. And I know that, I was glancing through it late last night, and I'm like, oh, my God, there's just so much going on. There are so many fall festivals. There are so many seasonal-related events. But Tuesdays at the Barrie American Legion is their Tuesday night dinner that they do. It starts at 5:30. I'll give you a phone number here if you would like to place your order. You can pick up, or you can eat right there, dine in, take out, yes. But 5:30, keep an eye on the Barrie Post 10 Facebook page and the World newspaper for the menu. It's 479-9058, 479-9058. If you'd like to grab a meal, I think it's like $12. They do it every Tuesday night at the American Legion right here in the Granite City. Tomorrow, concerts in Courier Park. Yeah, September 17th, Scott Forrest going to be performing. Starts at 5:30. Bring a lawn chair. Bring your appetite. Bring your love of music. It is going to be an amazing night tomorrow. And again, look at this weather. Perfect. Also tomorrow, Wing Wednesday at the VFW. Wing-a-Ding, Donna Thunder. She'll be there rocking out. VFW, Post 790, right here in the Granite City, starts at 4:30. Wellness Wednesday, upstairs at the Well Space Building on Summer Street, 802-479-4055 to book a massage or maybe some Reiki. Acupressure, acupuncture, walk-ins always available. keep your wallet at home. You don't need it. Everything is free. Give yourself a little bit of self-care. So excited that Wellness Wednesday is back. Again, 479-4055. Just make an appointment if you want a massage or something. I might be getting in there myself. I got to look at Lily's soccer schedule, but been over to Kurt Healy's a couple of times. Barry Chiropractic. Done something to the back. I don't know. Should I have been on my dirt bike last night? Did that help? Also, speaking of Washington County mental health, the next Child, Youth, and Family Steering Committee family gathering is happening this coming Thursday at the WellSpace Building in Barrie. Very busy place. It's every third Thursday during the high tide. But right now they're doing it once a month. So I'll give you the details on the one coming up on tomorrow. It is IEP and 504 basics. How to get started. Learning the language, how to navigate this stuff, how to give support to your child or your student, and share information with others. It is free. It is so important. Dinner is provided. Again, 5 o'clock is when it starts, right at the WellSpace Building in Barrie. I love leading off with the good things going on in our community. I just do. We got some packed stuff going on in October. Fridays in October are going to be real busy. I want to give you a heads up right now on that. It's going to be slammed. Saturdays, too. We got the Vermont Granite Museum Granite Festival coming up on the 20th. That's this Saturday? Yeah. Ugh. The calendar's just jammed. The Veterans Place ride next weekend at the Masonic Lodge in Williamstown. There's just so much going on. So much happening. Don't forget, this coming Sunday, Top Soccer Capital Region, opportunity for folks with diverse abilities to play soccer. They do it every Sunday in September. Barrytown Rec Fields, Facebook, Top Soccer Capital Region, Vermont. Part of the, it's a national program. Part of the U.S. Youth's Soccer Outreach Program for soccer. And it's just wonderful. How many Sundays are there in September? 4? So try not to pass this up. Wow, do we have a lot to talk about this morning. Last night, yesterday, late afternoon, after Lily's soccer game, as I just said, swung a leg onto my dirt bike and asked Lily if she wanted to join me. And we did. And as I just said a little while ago, I've been to the chiropractors, to Kurt Healy, several times over the last week and a half or so. Because of a bad back. I've done something. Something slipped. I don't know what. But I make a little bit of progress, and then it's been kind of one step forward, 2 steps back. But I got on my dirt bike with Lily, and we had a fantastic time. And we rode until it was dark. And although my back was communicating with me during this, going over all of the bumps, I was reminded that what I was doing was something for myself, something for Lily, and that I needed this time to just be present in a moment away from TV, away from my phone, away from social media, and to just live that moment on that dirt bike with my daughter last night, despite my back, and just get dirty, have some fun. And it's so important to do that. On the line with me this morning is Dr. Matt Chalmers. This gentleman really gets it. A healthy living expert who focuses on the mind, the body, and the spirit to all work together to heal ourselves. Good morning, sir. It is such a pleasure to have you with me.
Morning. Good to be here.
You are the author of a book titled Pillars of Wellness, Achieve and Uphold Holistic Health, Vitality, and Longevity. Grab it where you get your books or your audiobooks. Hop on pillarsofwellness.com. The website is right there on the monitor in front of us this morning. I want to drop a blanket statement. It seems the average American is more consumed now than ever before in the sea called social media. What do you think about that?
It has its good sides and its bad sides. One of the things I think that we all need to recognize about social media, especially the way the algorithm works, is that the things that you look at, you get more of. And so what that does is it creates an echo chamber. And what ends up happening is that, so if we all started in the middle, and then the people who were pro-Trumps spent more time with the pro-Trump stuff and the Democrat stuff up, the feed sends you more of that. And so what ends up happening is you start thinking that everyone agrees with you because you see, post after post after post from different people all agreeing with the same side. The problem we're running into with this is that this creates extreme tribalism. And it also, as we've been pointing out, once you've been telling people a narrative that a group is like Hitler or like Nazis and they're horrible and terrible, they're altering democracy and they're an existential threat, if you start seeing nothing but that in your feed, it creates, it reinstills that idea. And so we need to be very careful of the things we're allowing ourselves to see repeatedly on a daily basis.
I mean, everywhere right now, and you know this, if you're listening this morning and you have a phone, all you have to do is turn it on, and there is something about Charlie Kirk on it. It's literally saturated. It's everywhere.
And I think that's a fantastic thing, because that is one of the things that, they talked about how Charlie Kirk had 1.4 million followers the day of his murder, and he now has 10 million. And so the great thing about this is that you're getting exposed to different ideas. And I think one of the great things about this kind of breaks that mold. And the reason I talk about that is because a lot of people started seeing these things and they thought, oh my gosh, what a horrible, terrible person. I'm going to go listen to what he said so I can say bad things about him. And they started watching his stuff and they're like, he's not a bad guy. Like, this is not what they were told at all.
Yeah.
And I think that is starting to help people kind of wake up to the idea that maybe what we're all being told on both sides might not be 100% accurate, and we should do a little bit more investigating ourselves.
Aha. That's it right there. Instead of having the stamp of an R or a D on your forehead.
Correct.
I have, first of all, I appreciate your time so much this morning hopping on with us. I have a friend, a good friend, who has a cell phone that is only used for calls. He does some texting on it, but very rarely, and it's usually only to his wife about, soccer pickup, drop off, whatever, pick up a gallon of milk on the way home. But that's about the extent of it. Other than that, he uses his phone mostly for just making phone calls, and even then, he's just not on the phone a lot. When I'm with him, when I say to him, oh my God, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? What's going on? what's happening with Romania and Russia, and look at this. And he's disconnected, admittedly, and wants to be. He's happy that way. There's something to be said about that. There's pros and cons to that, I'm guessing. What say you about my friend?
So there's a giant amount, like when we work with stress and we work with, the things they're pressing on us. There's a lot of things that and everybody's heard this, like if you can't alter it, let it go. Well, if you're not going to be able to help the issues that are going on in Russia or in Ukraine or whatever, it is in a very significant idea of we don't need to know about those things, because if I can't help in a positive manner and all it's going to do is add negativity into my life, that is then going to program me into a more negative function, I would prefer not to have that influence over my life. And I think that there's a lot to that. And I think, like you said, he's much happier than a lot of the people who know what's going on in Russia or know what's going on in the Sudan or whatever. So there is a lot to that. The idea of let me fix the things I can fix, and the things I can't fix, let me not worry about.
And that many of us, and I think you would maybe agree with me. Maybe most of us are not able to do that in a real way. Say, look, I can't fix it. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do about it, so I got to let it go. A lot of us carry, even subconsciously, the weight of what's going on in the world that we don't have any control over. It gets under our skin and it sticks to our bones. I mean, it our phones and social media have, and I also know someone, as I know we all do, where our phones have become more than a habit. Frankly, we're addicted to them. And I know people, as I know, I'm sure you do, who just can't stop scrolling, no matter where they are, what they're doing, who they're with, how late at night it is, whether they're out on a date with their husband or wife, whether they're at a restaurant, whether they're at church, it doesn't matter. We can barely shut it off to close our eyes and go to sleep at night sometimes.
There's a lot of research into the neurology of the light that hits your eyes and the dopamine hit that we're getting. And so the explanation or the description of being addicted to the phone because of the dopamine hit is a fairly, albeit maybe loose, a fairly accurate description of what's going on. The other problem that we get into is it's hyper emotional. And so when you see these, massive emotional hit after emotional hit, it spools the brain up on them. Now, the other thing that it will do is, and this is one of the problems, is if you see nothing but negativity in the world and no one's being able to fix it, what it oftentimes does is it numbs you to that. And so you do not make the effort that is needed in your local community, in your family or your household, to change the things that are there. So if we focus more, again, if we turn off the outside world and we focus more on what is right in front of us, I think that we would start to see a significant change in our community and then in and around us. And so that's the other issue that we need to kind of focus in on.
Yeah, we've become desensitized to some of it, and often what we see on our phones before our eyes close at night is something that is either bad news or not great news. Uh, I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful if our phones, if we got into the self discipline of shutting our phones off and disconnecting from everything, maybe even TV, for at least an hour before we go to bed, just to be quiet, just to reflect and find something positive to think about, something maybe that was good during the day, and wrap our minds around that and carry that with us to the moment that we hit the pillow.
Well, so taking phones and taking artificial light away from your eyes is a very, very, very common part of sleep etiquette and sleep, rehabilitation. So when I work with people who are having trouble sleeping, this is one of the things that we do. And we're like, no electronics because of the light frequencies activate your brain and spool you up. But the other thing that we will do is we start working on things like gratitudes. This is one of the many things we do. Like exactly what you're saying is before, as soon as you wake up and before you go to bed, you focus on things that you're truly grateful for. And if you start focusing on the things you're truly grateful for, what ends up happening is you start seeing them in more places. And so what ends up happening, not only your dreams, but you start recognizing the things that make you happy during the day. And so we can make substantial changes to health by allowing ourselves to sleep better, by taking the light pollution away from us, from our eyes. And if we start working on our psychology and our spirituality of what good things happen to me today, what do I need to be happy about, find the things to be happy about, we can radically change our lives, both physical and spiritual psychological health. So what you're promoting is 100% something that we do, and I highly recommend everyone start incorporating.
I wish more doctors were thinking this way, that there are some real things that we can do as physicians to repair the damage. We're programming our minds with new algorithms, as you stated. We're even altering our belief systems. We're allowing it to affect our moods, which therefore create new personalities and opinions that we didn't even know that we had, let alone behaviors. This is really something that, and with a 10-year-old daughter who loves her tablet, I've got to remind myself that I want to make sure that she is not tethered to a device, that it is not literally in her hands every minute of the day, that she's not at school. I mean, most of us are swimming in this sea, and more of us seem like we're drowning in it.
Well, that's kind of one of the things that I was trying to tell people is, if you look at the way we do what we do in this country, we call it healthcare. I disagree. I think that if you're looking for someone to help with healthcare, a healthcare provider, that provider is going to help improve your health. So we're looking at sleep, we're looking at hormones, we're looking at diet, nutrition, supplementation. We're looking at, the psychological function of how everything goes. Those things are so hypercritical to the way we were designed to function that when we stray away from them, we have problems. And a lot of our psychological function is metabolic, and we've all seen it. Because you've ever seen someone who's been hangry, where they didn't eat, so their metabolic needs were not met, their psychological emotional needs collapse into basically depression. They're angry, they're grumpy, they're sad, they don't want to do things, and they disconnect.
Yeah.
You feed that person, all those things get fixed. So we need to start recognizing that the foods and the drugs we're putting in our bodies have a significant effect on the way we feel and act.
Wow, that is so true. It is so true. And you have a you have a great book, and we're going to talk about that in a second here. But you also have a Facebook group where you're promoting, I think, pretty much exactly what you just said.
Yeah, I do like a 10 or 15-minute podcast every morning, just trying to get the information out. We have been lied to for so long about the body in an effort to then capitalize on that and make money off of people's sickness and illness, that I was just like, how do I help people the most? And it's like, if I could just tell you how the body actually works, maybe you guys could come out and figure out how to fix yourselves or get the information to kind of push back against what's going on now. So that's kind of the best way that I've found to help everybody, is just give the information.
Yeah, boy, I mean, this is a lot to unpack, but I know it's just a segment of the full holistic mindset that you have for wellness as a giant umbrella. But, you can eat well, you can drink the right amount of water, but just be super conscious of how much time you're spending connected to the world digitally. Set some boundaries. It is so, I mean, everything in moderation, we all say. But it can be so difficult to look away from what we're seeing. The other point that I wanted to make this morning is that, more often than not, we should really put this out there, that social media can provide something that's really good for our mental state. It connects us with others, especially if we live alone or a little bit isolated, or if we have family and friends who are far away. But it can also give us a sense of belonging in our community or in a group with people with common interests. And it can also just make us laugh. My wife, every night, needs that time to sit on the couch and just have a little bit of mindless scrolling. And she'll find some funny reels and funny memes that she loves to share with me. And some of some of the times that she has laughed have been really intense. I mean, she has really found some great enjoyment and laughter from things that you're just maybe not necessarily going to find on TV. But knowing what time it is, maybe it's time for dinner, maybe it's time that we need to go for a walk, maybe it's time that we need to start unplugging and decompressing and getting ready for bed, being aware of that. I mean, we could all sit there and eat a whole gallon of ice cream if it's still in front of us, but knowing when to put the lid on and put it away, that can be difficult. That can be challenging for many of us.
It is, and so setting boundaries is a great thing to sit down and kind of decide on how you're going to do it. The other thing that we all need to recognize, and this is very difficult for people who haven't gone through this properly, but we are all programmed. We run programs, and so we get programming from our environment. And so if we're not very cautious with what we watch and what we see, the things we digest, listen to, read, that type of thing, it will start to program us into a way of thinking that may or may not be beneficial to us. So one of the things that we always try to do is help people find their purpose and help people find what it is that they're the reason they're here type of thing. But it also kind of helps them kind of solidify what they believe. And
Yeah.
what's really, really great is that once you understand what it is you actually believe, you can then contrast the world against your beliefs because you actually hold these beliefs. Once you start getting that anchor point for people, you start to see them change the way that they view the world. So
Mm.
one of the things that if we can start, like I said, recognize what's out there is trying to change the way we think and change the way we act and program us, we have to have something solid to anchor against that. So that's one of those things that we need to kind of, like I said, factor into our daily lives.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, this is tough stuff to do, especially when the bee's nest gets hit with something that emotionally charges so many of us, and our phones, the news, everything is just saturated with some event that has happened, whether it was uh, the murder in North Carolina or Charlie Kirk's murder, whatever it may be. And it just awakens us to enormous sensitivity, and we forget to see what's right in front of us. And stuff starts slipping through the cracks if we're paying too much attention to what's going on. It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you, Doctor.
Oh, absolutely.
Your book, tell us about your book and your website, pillarsofwellness.com.
Yeah, so the book was trying to illustrate the way that we get back to health. Again, it's how was the body designed and how do we stray away from that and how do we get back to that original design? Taking the chemicals out that we need out, putting the chemicals in that we need in. And I wanted to kind of go through and kind of explain some of this, why some of the things we've been told are completely inaccurate. For instance, testosterone is not a drug. Man didn't make it. God made it. It's extremely critical to function of your body for health, regeneration, and healing. But we are told that it is terrible and we shouldn't use it. So there's a lot of things in the book that's like, here's some information that is contrary to what you have been told, and here's the research on it, and here's why it's important that we recognize these facts. Because we have seen depression, PTSD, celiac, GERD, like all kinds of issues. Type 2 diabetes, we fix a lot. We can fix these things. We don't have to rely on allowing them to damage the body. But the whole purpose of the book was, this is how physiology is set up. This is how we were designed. And every single time when somebody gets closer to the original design of the physiology, the way the machine was designed to function, the machine functions much better. And so that was just that's the impetus of the book of, here's all the things where we're supposed to be. As we get closer to it, you've all seen that we get better. Let's just walk down this road to where it ends, and we will all be healthier than we were when we started.
Wow. One book for now?
Yeah, I'm going to start working on one for the psychological part, because what I've found in working with this for 20 years is that the biochemical piece is very important and it needs to be the beginning, but most people in the first 6 to 10 weeks can get that piece down. The rest of it takes the rest of your life to sort through and design your life and follow your purpose. What we need is, and this is one of the things that we do, is we start showing people how to break that down, how to define what it is for you that you need to do. And that's the other piece of it, is once we get the psychology piece put together and you can figure out or get the general direction of your purpose, then you can live in joy. Because joy is doing the thing that we were designed to do and doing it every day to its fullest. So that's kind of the way that we help people move, not only through the biochemical piece, but into the psychological and the spiritual piece.
Wow. So much there. There is so much there. I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, if some of us could just find a way to devote a little bit of our day or maybe a little bit of our week, maybe it's just 30 minutes on a Sunday, to just flip through some pages of your book or just listen to your podcast, that it could really add up and make a big, big difference. pillarsofwellness.com. Any close?
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I and that's the whole reason I do it. And, it's one of those things where it's, I've had people call and be like, hey, so my favorite thing is I had a patient come in and he was here because his wife made him, because he was being polite. And his doctor had told him his entire life that everything was fine. His heart was great. We did a CT angiogram on him, and we found out that 4 of the arteries to his heart were significantly blocked. This is the type of thing that is important. If people understand what actually causes arterial plaquing and how to prevent it, this can save lives. And I talk about it all the time. And so this is the type of thing that if we start to understand how the machine works, we will end up being healthier. So, I want people to vet everything I say, and I want you to look at everything else, but this is a type of idea. This is a type of healing that that people are not getting from this system that was created by our government to keep everybody thinking and acting in one way. So that's the genesis of why we do what I do.
Wow. Meanwhile, and I'm sure there's many out there that are doing the same thing. I'm just flipping through my AARP little magazine here, but maybe we should look at pillarsofwellness.com. It's good stuff, man. This is great stuff.
Thank you. I hope it helps people.
I really appreciate your time, Dr. Chalmers, so much. We're going to put a photo of your book up here in just a little bit and make sure that people have a link to it. And thank you ever so much for your time. We appreciate it so, so much.
Anytime, sir. Good to talk to you.
Talk to you soon. We hope. What a great guy, and someone who has been on Aired Out in the past. Just amazing. Love it. Physicians are working so hard in so many ways to help us, but we have to find a way to also help ourselves, which will do nothing more than help a physician help you. So do your part, do your due diligence, and start maybe creating some new habits, some new regimens in your life that will allow you to move forward in a healthier way by mind, by body, by spirit, and take your time. Don't rush with this. We all need to do a better job, including yours truly, when it comes to stuff like this. It is so easy to get caught up in what's going on. For me, it's FOMO, the acronym for fear of missing out. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's happening. Oh, yes, that craft fair, this and that, and this is going on this weekend. And I don't know. We need to put our phone down. We need to tap the brakes. We need to figuratively stop all things and swing that leg over the motorcycle and just ride for the sake of just riding. No matter what that is. Maybe it's shutting off everything, literally powering off your phone and reading for 15 minutes every day or a half an hour. It's okay. Phone's not going anywhere. Neither is the news. It's always going to be there. Now listen, when it comes to mental health, fair to say that all of us have, in some way or another, been affected by some kind of stress. Whether it's something that we've created ourselves, whether it's an external factor, out of our control, whatever it may be. We've all experienced a stress hit. Some of you have taken a stress hit this morning. And some of you will later today, and you don't even know it. If you, like so many others, are having a tough time carrying this weight, and just like so many of us, I'm no different. There's times I'm walking around carrying an ungodly amount of weight that I myself don't show, that I am not transparent with. Things that are weighing on my mind, things that are bugging me, things that I need to get off my chest, things I'm worried about. If you are having a hard time pushing through, faking it to make it, getting through the day, I'm going to give you a phone number here, and I'm going to tell you who it is and why they're waiting for you on the other end of the line. Before I even give you this phone number, I want to tell you that whoever picks up the line is going to keep you and your information completely private. You will be anonymous. I don't even think you need to give them your name because there's nothing on file. You will not be considered a patient. You will, however, be speaking with a real human being on the other end of the line who most likely will be able to relate to anything that you are feeling or going through. So grab a pencil, pull over if you need to. This is one of the outstanding counselors who can field any question you have or any comments you have or anything that you're going through. They're trained, they're professional, and they're waiting for you right now at Washington County Mental Health. There is no wait list. And again, your name is kept out of it. No files, no records, no medical history here. It's just someone that you can speak with. And it doesn't have to be anything massive. I mean, it can be. But even if it's something that seemingly, to you anyway, you might think is kind of trivial, or that you are embarrassed about, or you think that someone's not going to understand you or relate to what you're feeling, try them. You get 3 to 5 sessions at no cost to you. 3 to 5. And if you decide you need more, they're going to steer you in the right direction and get you lined up with someone who can help you out. Here's the phone number. It's right here, Washington County Mental Health. Right here in Central Vermont, 802-229-0591. I'm going to put that in the comments here so that you all have it. 802-229-0591. And literally, there's a counselor that's on the other end of that line that can help you out. Maybe it's some advice that you need or don't even realize that you need. Or maybe you just need to be pointed in the right direction. Or maybe you just need to hear another human being say, I get it. I understand. Or I know people who will understand. Relatability is, in my opinion, is probably the driving force behind the message that I try to push on this podcast more than anything else. And relatability can be something that is very funny and something that we all can laugh at because we've been there, done that. Or it can be something quite serious, whether it's loss, whether it's worry. Relatability is the driving force. It is the number one thing that I hang my hat on every single morning with whatever it is that I bring to these microphones. Remember that. Be good to one another. Take a deep breath for yourself and for others, because they will see the difference. Your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever, will see the difference. And this afternoon, regardless of the back pain, I'm going to swing that leg over the motorcycle again with Lily. And we're going to get our helmets on, and we're going to go out, and we're going to have a great time. And we're going to forget about everything that's going on, and we're going to just simply be present in the moment and be happy in it. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.